named Max?
He's only got 1.5 legs left.
A little homeless sick dog named Mac. Okay.
You know the water that's been pooling because of the lack of capital funding those mosquitoes? They're big enough to drag him into the bushes.
All right, I gotta go meet Max. I gotta go. All right. Great. Well, nice to meet you. Good to see you. All right, you guys keep it down there. So that was kind of fun, huh? Excellent work with tying all the. He can come with you if you want. So what was I doing?
Not paying attention.
I was kind of not paying attention. I was running to.
More on the dog than you did anything.
Right, because let me just be clear. Don't just talk about a dog to every member of Congress you meet with. I mean, that's just me. Okay, but the point is, you figured out the thing that made me go like, ooh. Perked up my ears, as it were. You know, made me be interested. And you know for your, what did you just say it was for yours?
Logging.
Right, so you know it's like a logging thing, and you can talk about timber workers and how difficult that's been and how you're providing services for anyone who's been laid off or blah, 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 blah. But if you know that's the thing, then that's what you talk about. So how would you, did I agree to anything? I kind of, it sounded like I was, didn't I? It sounded like, oh, this is neat, yeah, but I didn't say yes. And that's, you don't need, you're not going to get a yes from them usually right away if they're not, haven't made a decision. And that's actually kind of good, because you don't want them to say yes to everyone who walks into their office all the time, right? Because that's not good. How do you get to that yes, though, eventually? Keep at it through your follow-up, right? Through what you do when you get home. So what would you do when you got home from this?
Email and saying thank you so much for meeting with me.
Right. And let me schedule a time for you or your staff person to come and meet the poor little 1.5-leg dog Max.
He needs new glasses.
Oh, and he can't see. Wow. All right. All right, let's do a practice in the back, and I'm going to check our time here. All right, we're good. Practice in the back. Yeah, you were good, because I was trying to throw you off your game, and you were having none of it. Minnesota, she's like, can you come with me? All right, hi, I'm Congresswoman Vance.
Oh, God, it's Vance. I mean, Congresswoman Vance.
Yeah, don't mix that up.
Oh,
Goddess is good. I like that. Hi.
Jamar Mazel.
Oh, great. Nice to meet you. So, what are we here to talk about today?
Well, I wanted to tell you about things going on in our area. You know, we're commissioners at the Housing Authority, and I need to tell you about little Brittany. She was walking her dog. She has this Australian something or other.
Cattle dog, perhaps?
I think that's what she
Oh,
said.
well, I have one too.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. And she tripped on a broken sidewalk and fell into one of those metal culverts and was seriously hurt. And you know, I'm a nurse. I saw her at the hospital, at the ER, and she was more worried about her dog than about herself. Now I've known Brittany before because she was at the Ebony Awards banquet getting that award for being such a fantastic student. She's got a 4.2.
Wow.
So this little girl needs.
They've made up new grade point averages.
You know, AP, you can get a 4.8.
Wow, all right.
So we are very concerned, and we know you've been supported before. We're very grateful that you.
Oh yeah, of course. I love children and puppies and houses.
So we've got to get our capital fund up to date because we have things to fix, and people can't live like that.
Now, it is true, because if you're falling on a sidewalk into a metal culvert, I mean, you've got a hurt child and a hurt puppy. I mean, that's not good.
Yeah, so.
But let me ask you this, as you're thinking about the funding. What are you doing to reduce terrorism in the projects?
Well, we're making sure everybody feels comfortable and knows each other and knows who lives there, and helping them feel comfortable with reporting what's going on around them.
Very nice. I was trying to throw you off. Okay, let me see if I can throw you off with something else. And how do you? Why do you think we should be spending money on this versus, you know? I mean, there's all kinds of worthy programs out there. I mean, I get, you know, housing's a basic need, but so is water and food and, you know, healthcare and things like that. Why should we be spending money on this?
You're right. There's so many worthy things. We've got to get our priorities, and you know, children and basic living conditions comes first. Who do they grow up to be if their childhood is terrible?
That is an excellent point. That is, yeah. All right. Well, listen, I got to run to my next meeting. So what can we do to make sure I've learned a little bit more about this?
Well, we'd like to contact you again. What's your favorite? Can I call you or email you, or how do you like to communicate?
I prefer carrier pigeon. So.
You know, our pigeons they fell off. They fell down too.
Oh, hurt children, hurt puppies, and hurt birds. All right. All right. Well, then just you know, you can contact my staff person, Janny here. Janny.
I'm happy to give you a card.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, and we want to make sure that we have a timeline where we'll hear back from you.
Of course.
And we will get some documentation to you, so we'll have a response.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much. Thanks for coming in. No, don't be scared. You were awesome. Another round of applause. Outstanding. You need your prize. You want your flash drive? Okay. Can't really share that, but all right. Good job, you guys. Another round of applause. Now, does anyone else want to try? All right. Hi. How do you Vance?
I'm Karen Williams.
Okay, great. Nice to meet you. Hi, Mark. Nice to meet you. So, let me scooch over here. What are we here to talk about today?
Well, you know, first of all, I'd like to tell you I do love the work that you do for the women in government relations.
Oh, you actually did look me up. That's a little stalkerish.
What about you? You like a cigar once in a while?
Oh no, this is going nowhere. This is not going anywhere good. I do actually, you know, it's funny. I don't want you to do that. It's funny. I'm a member of a cigar smoking group and women in government relations. And what else do you know about me?
We were on.
Well, is this your beautiful?
Afterwards, you need to walk around with
Do this right now. Hey.
Myself, my
Google.
son, his pets, my sister. I'm a cat lover.
You're a cat person?
I am the family dog sitter. Whenever they go on vacations, I get to stay with the pups. I love them.
They're great.
But you know, our issues are in our housing authority. We're big on health care. We have a lot of residents that either are unemployed or they are on not on Social Security, and they don't have health care. And we support a wellness center through one of our colleges. And we really need the funding to help this.
Wow. Well, in order to put you out of your misery with this meeting, I'm just going to agree to whatever you want. The best way would be to never have him see me again. Actually, you can talk to Janny, my staff person, and look. Yeah, but I mean, whatever you guys want, as long as it helps the puppy, that would be good.
And then our page, our letterhead is going to be
We're
her.
going to have the picture.
That is going to become our little mascot.
Oh, I love it. All right, well, thank you guys. Thanks. I knew that was not going to be a good idea. I knew going into it, it's like, oh, this isn't going to go well. And I'm really sorry that there's internet in this room. Okay. Well, hey, I said yes, right? No, I mean, we will remember you. And actually, I would say, here's the thing. I always think it's good, you know, that was some fun research you did. And you found, you know, I am involved in women government relations. I really am part of this cigar smoking club that we can talk about later. And then you found the picture of my adorable dog. And, you know, I wouldn't necessarily walk in and be like, hey, I've stalked you. Here's your house on Google Maps, and your husband works here, and whatever. Yeah, those are the people you call in the FBI, and you're like, remember I was saying you could be carried around back in chains? Yeah, you don't want that. But it's that kind of stuff that if you went in and you said, hey, I saw that you're really involved in women and government relations. I think that's a great group. You do some wonderful work there. I appreciate you being on that panel. I mean, Courtney's involved in that as well, and we appreciate all the work that you do. And I'd be like, oh, okay, you know this about me. That's good. Or I saw you introduce this bill or whatever. So while I would not bring in the picture of the adorable dog, I did think that you guys took everything I said to heart, and you got what it was you wanted. So, but how would we follow up from that meeting and the one before?
Send an email, thank you.
We'd say, send a thank you email, we talk to Janie, right? Is it
Yes.
Janie? Janie. We talk to Janie, right? Because she's the one who's going to make sure that all that stuff gets followed up on.
Absolutely.
All right, so questions now. I want to just wrap up with a few thoughts on, we're wrapping up at noon, right? Yep. Okay, good. I want to wrap up with a few thoughts on follow-up ideas, but are there at this point questions about the meetings? Things I haven't covered, things you're like, oh, I wish you'd mentioned X, Y, or Z, things you're worried about, things you're nervous about. People feel a little less nervous, hopefully, if you were nervous to begin with. Yes, in the back.
For those legislators who never see you personally, you always get the aid. That they only respond to the appointment request here at the hotel the day before Hill Day, although they've been contacted for a month. I'm describing somebody who's at their task.
And it's not at all unusual. When you meet with the staff person, that's actually, we were talking about this earlier, better than meeting with a member of Congress. Because the staff person is the person who is going to deal directly with those issues. They're going to be the one who gets the member of Congress to sign on to the letter to the appropriations in support of the funding level. They're going to be the ones that are going to tell the member of Congress, hey, there's this amendment coming up, here's how you vote on it. They're really the ones you want to meet with. And I will tell you in terms of scheduling meetings, especially this time of year, and I will tell you this week, I know that the Textile Rental Services Association are in town, the Natural Products Association is in town, the Bike Summit is in town. Who else am I talking to? I'm talking to like 5 different groups this week, all of whom are in town to advocate with their elected officials. I talked to probably 0.5% of the groups that are in Washington, D.C. There are going to be thousands of people on Capitol Hill advocating. And that's why the staff are taking so long to get back to you, because they've got just a huge number of people coming in and they're trying to fit them into slots on their schedule. But it will be the staff person who's going to be able to take even a little bit more time, it might be 15 minutes, to talk a little bit more with you. And then again, you want to be the person that staff person remembers as someone who knows about the issues and is smart, and they can turn to when they have questions. So I wouldn't be too, it's not surprising to me at all that it took a long time for the staff person to get back to you. And it's not a sign of they don't like you, or they don't want to work with you, or they don't think that you do good work. It's just a sign of, the extreme whirlwind of stuff that goes on in DC. Is that helpful to you at all? Okay.
Is it helpful, or is it advantage or disadvantage to mention another congressperson who already supports housing that may not have a relation? You don't know what their relationship is.
I would wait to mention, the question is it helpful to mention another congressperson who supports you if you don't really know the relationship between them and them?
Right.
I would not mention it unless you know the relationship. And the best way to know the relationship is to see if they have ever, take a look at some of the bills you care about and see if they're both co-sponsors, or see if they're on similar committees, or if they're from the same delegation. That might give you a sense if they've worked together on issues before. You can look up some of the bills that one of the members has introduced and see if the other member ever supports them on that. But I wouldn't mention it unless you know, because sometimes people would come in and say oh, you know, Congressman so-and-so feels this way, and you'd be like, great, we hate Congressman so-and-so. So that's not an argument in your favor.